Welcome back to Trip Talk Tech. We got a great show for y'all today, man. Super dope guest. He is the CEO of James Jones Enterprise Media Group LLC. He is the executive producer, director, writer, BP of an upcoming film that we're going to talk a little bit more about, Freedom of North Carolina. Please help me welcome the man himself, James Jones. How you doing, man? Welcome
Man,
to the
appreciate
show.
it, man. Man, glad to have to be on it, man. So thank you for inviting me, brother.
Hey man, hey, I thank you for coming on. Like I said, we got a mutual friend in Set, and I know we did a show back on cryptocurrency, and I know at
Right,
the end he was telling me, he was working in a movie, and you guys y'all had something going on. I was like, man, it sounds interesting, and that was
right.
maybe 6 months ago, and to get to
Okay,
talk to you and see that talk come to fruition. Again, a salute from us, Trip Talk Tech, and Trip Talk to you. Uh, for again, a lot of people have a lot of visions, but don't stick to them. And again, that's why I wanted to just get you on the line and maybe be encouragement to our audience to do the same thing, kind of like what you did. So,
gotcha.
and for our audience, today, if you watching, if you just want to get some insight on some filmmaking, hey, maybe you wanted to, had an idea of doing a film, but hey, it seems insurmountable or too big for you, or whatever the case may be. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, as well as if you just want to get the skinny on this new movie. I'm telling you, I want to be the first to break it, because when it
Mhm.
bust open, I want y'all to know y'all saw it here first. Y'all saw James Jones
That's
before
it.
he becomes the Tyler Perry. You guys know. I mean, I think what he got for y'all is on that level. But again, y'all gotta buzz him up, and then now y'all will believe it. So we had it first. Y'all remember that when we get into this, man. Hey, man, but what's going on with you, man? Like, how
Ah,
how did you get into filmmaking? Like, where did that come from? Like, just
just man, just to be. I don't know how I got it, man. I felt like it kind of stumbled, man, and just kind of got placed in my lap somehow, man. I've always been really, a curious, you know, young individual that was always about if I can get it in, if I see interest in it, I'm gonna go as hard as I can and be able to learn that trade and add that to who I am, man. So it really kind of began. I would say it began with music, man. I was like a very conscious rapper, man, and music has been a very major platform in my life, basically a soundtrack of my life, man. So I think it was music, and I remember at a young age, my mother's from Bronx, New York, right off of Washington Ave.
Mhm.
And coming up in the 70s, man, and I was born in 85, but I remember when I was young, my mother was playing Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I remember seeing the movie. I was young. I don't know if I was 6, 7 years old, man. And I loved the movie. I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was people that
Mhm.
looked just like me.
Mhm.
And I got a chance of every time I watched it, I learned something new from it,
Mhm.
right? So it was, I guess, when I got older and still watching Spike Lee films and even watching Do the Right Thing now,
Mhm.
it's just so much substance that's in there that people of color that we can relate to. He was making films for us and really
Yeah.
understanding that. So it was then when I was like, I don't want to do that. you
Wow.
know, man, I see exactly what he's doing. He's using this vehicle to drive in, the truth about what's really going out here, what's going on in our society, within our
Mhm.
communities.
Definitely.
And I've always been that individual just wanting to be as creative as I can be, and pulling out what's in me because we was taught, there's things that we have to attach to make us us. But it's not true. It's
Mhm.
everything that we have and everything that who we are within our true identity is within us. We just have to learn how to pull it out. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I truly believe film has always been there, brother.
Gotcha.
It was just something I had to just pull out and grasping and working at it and learning very fast because I never went to school for filmmaking. Um,
That
And
that was
then,
going to be my
people
next
seeing a
question.
bit of my work,
Hmm.
um, I said, okay, I'm good at it. I'm good at it, and I'm gonna stick to it. So night and day, man, I go hard, man, and I just try to kind of beat on that craft each and every day.
Now that's a good point you make. You, I think I heard you say you didn't necessarily go the traditional route with it, huh? So you didn't go to, I guess, a film school or some kind of.
Right.
So how did you get on path then? I mean, how did you get recognized? Was it just
Uh, man, brother, I can't tell you because it's mind blowing now. I mean, we've been working on this film. This is my first film. We've been working on this
Mhm.
film for 2 years.
Okay?
So I do remember, coming back home, moving back to North Carolina. It was my wife and I and my kids. I got three girls. I had three girls at the time. I got four now, but
Okay.
we moved from Georgia, man, and moved back home in 2017 in May.
Hmm.
And I just knew coming back, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something different, man. And I've always nipped and bud and played with, I've done like 12, 13 years of editing. I've done
Okay.
stuff. Sissy Houston, the mother of Whitney Houston, for the Gospel Image Award down in Charlotte. I've done things or I've done the actual promo for Steve Harvey for the Neighborhood Awards.
Oh, okay.
He has at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta. So
Mm.
I've always been in that field, but never saw myself becoming like an actual filmmaker. And it wasn't until like 2017 when I began to start kind of playing with my phone, man. I took these phones that I'm on now,
Hmm.
Androids, and turned them up, what I'm saying, horizontal, and
Get
just
the
started
wide,
kind
get
of
the wide
learning,
screen, huh? You
learning the
had to get the
basics
wide.
of how shooting does, man. And um, that was it. I felt that was the spark of it, man. And I just shared with others and people who understood the vision and what I wanted to bring about, uh, to the nation, man. And everything else was history. I mean that's how fast it was coming in. People just wanted to be a part of it, something totally different that's outside of themselves, much powerful than themselves. But I feel like a vision and I would say a powerful move or a powerful way that we can change the minds, um, using the vehicle of film that our youth can be able to see. You understand what I'm saying? That our
Hmm.
old
Hmm.
people will get to be able to see and take from it. So it's been beautiful since then, man. But that's how it started. It
That's
started
what's
like
up,
that,
man.
man. Everything else was history.
It's history now. Huh? Now we gonna get into kind of the concepts, but you said one thing I don't want to lose in what you said was um, you started with your cell phone. Again, if I'm
Right.
aspiring, do I have to have a whole bunch of money to kind of be a filmmaker, if or just to put some content out there to get seen, or
It don't, man. I actually had to learn that. Didn't I didn't have all the high tech gear, even though I used to pull up certain things on YouTube and just kind of watch a lot of
dream?
these guys do their things and just really just understanding and learning the basic of this camera itself
Hmm.
because a lot of what's on an actual camera or a cinema camera um, or DLSR are basically the same thing you have on your phones. These phones that they're coming out with are way much more than the phones now. They building them to the point where it's they hanging in there. When it
They
got
right there with the computers
quality,
now.
and I think it's with the individual. Because the individual can actually take that phone as myself and then just look at it as being a phone. Look at it as being a tool that he can use to be the best that I can be with that phone, until I
Okay.
can get something else greater, or something better. So, yeah, man, you can use what you have. You don't have to have $1,000 worth of equipment, man. And I'm telling
Okay.
you, like, you have these individuals that do have the money and can afford those types of things, but stuff look crappy. I see it all the time. It's like these equipments, they are, and it's all about the brand too. It's about the
Yeah.
brand. So you got Red cameras, Sony cameras, Black Magics, all these different types of cameras. They do almost the same exact thing, bro. Same exact
Hey,
thing,
I'm
and
I'm,
that's
I'm
to
glad you I'm
capture the
glad you
moment.
I'm glad you made that point because again, it's like as a consumer, all we know is the brands that's pushed to us. So
Right.
Sony costs more, so I'm guessing that camera is better. But you saying it's pretty much all the same, huh?
It's the branding. It's no different than I mean, than the food we buy, or the
Hmm.
clothes we wear. You understand what I'm saying? Like these clothes, and that's been made out of overseas in China. I mean, these same people that's making your Jordans is also making those ripoffs. You
Yep, yep,
understand
yep,
what I'm
yep, yep,
saying?
yep, yep.
It's just what you use with it. It's the individual and what they do with it.
Hmm.
Because someone that can take something as simple as a phone can make something that make it look like, and get that type of, what do you use? And when you tell them, they're
Hmm.
like, no, you didn't use a phone. Like, yeah, I use a phone.
Wow.
And I see that all the time. And that's where I felt like I had something, because I started with using an Android and just kind of making promos. I've done music videos and little commercials, just using the phone, man.
Off
And
the phone, you did promos and commercials off phone.
yes, sir.
Wow, wow, wow. That's
Yes,
dope
yes,
right there.
yes,
That's
man.
dope.
Most definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just using the phone, man.
Now you said you did a lot of editing, and obviously the editing leads to the movie making and the film producing and cutting and all of that. Is it any softwares out there that you felt were easier to get into at first, and then obviously you graduate, but for that starter, is it a good one for a starter to say, hey, look at this?
Well,
Is
I was using, um, a simple, at the time, I was using a simple software. Um, it's made by Magix, called
Okay,
Magic Studio. They've been bought out by, I believe, Sony Vegas now.
okay,
So at that time, it was a very simple application to use, a very simple software to use. And, like I said, I never went to school to learn any of these things. So I kind of really taught myself, or sometimes, well, I wasn't even doing YouTube like that, but like it'll be times here and there. If there's certain things I want to learn, I check out how these guys do it on YouTube and just kind of look at it from there and add it to what I can do, But I would say Magix, if I can suggest one good software that I use that was
okay,
very professional, uh, um, inexpensive. The time, I believe Magix, and I believe it still is $2.99. Um,
okay.
so
Definitely
yeah,
reasonable. Definitely reasonable for a startup.
yeah,
Cool. Now transitioning back to you and your movie. I
yes, sir.
definitely don't. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to lose that. I did want to take care of the audience, but I also want to take care of them now on the entertainment side. We educated them. Now, entertainment. The movie with the concept. The freedom of North Carolina. What is it about? Where'd you get that concept? How did you come up with this freedom of North Carolina?
Well, Freedom of North Carolina basically just kind of talks about it is I wanted to tell our story, and
Hmm.
coming from and born out of North Carolina, we have a way of a lot of times just kind of trying to hide the truth, and um, you know, making it seem like it never exists, even though it did. And it takes someone to read about it, and for people to research and dig up these things, because they not just going to tell you. But
Hmm.
I wanted to create something that was based in the state, North Carolina. And as we all know, North Carolina was like one of the last states that, like, when it comes down to how things were set up through the legal system, and where it was legal to have slaves and all that.
Hmm.
Like, state of North Carolina was like the last one to really kind of jump
Lift
on
it.
like everything else from the North, Philadelphia, New York, or whatever.
Hmm.
It was different there, and that's why you actually had a lot of runaways trying to go up north and
Hmm.
places like that. But North Carolina, it was one of those. good
Hold
old boy
out.
time.
The hold out.
Good old boy time. And it and you still have them.
Mhm,
And I think that's the thing. We still have those types of people that think that way, that
mhm,
mindset and whatnot, man. So what I wanted to do is just kind of create something around and based in this state of North Carolina. Even though my film is not based on an actual true life story,
mhm,
it is based on true events. So um, I just wanted to kind of shed a bit of light about things we already know about,
mhm,
but at the same time, because I hear it all the time. Hey man, I don't want to hear another slavery story. I don't want to hear another slavery. And the thing is, and I think the greatest thing is, man, is for us to know really everything that our ancestors had to go through to even be here now. You understand what I'm saying? Like we can't erase that history.
mhm.
That is the American history that was taken out the history books for your kids to read about. So it's
Mhm,
our job
mhm.
as parents, fathers, kings,
Yes.
mentors, pastors, whoever, to teach our kids, man, and giving them the true nourishment, not what the
Mhm,
world wants them to know, but what you, as a parent, that you need to plant into them. So with this film, that's all. That's all I want to express.
mhm.
I'm planting a seed in this. And Tupac said it best, man. Like I'm not here to change the world, but I'm here to spark the mind that will. So if you're willing to listen and you're willing to kind of you know, think differently because this is
Mhm.
what this film is about. That's all I want to do, even just kind of sparking the mind. So this is not your typical slavery film, as what we have seen in Hollywood, but more of a film that highlights our people in color in a better light.
And like you said, I think it sounds like a lot of who you are, and like you said earlier about putting something out there that brings something out of us. A
That's
lot
it.
of things are in us. Things
Right.
like you said from our ancestors, things that are in our DNA that's coded that once we have the Da Vinci Code, we can
That's it.
unlock those
That's it.
things and you understand yourself. I mean, at the
That's
end
it.
of the day, right?
That's it.
So you trying to teach a little culture, it sounds like, in the movie from
Yeah,
from that
man,
time and
and
kind of
and
where we come from.
also with that being said, like making it appealing because we have a bit of different art into this besides just the dialogue, each scene, and everyone has script lines. We also have um, music, a bit of poetry, we have a bit of dancing. We want to be able to use all of these arts, and all of these arts, if you look at it, what are they called? Called entertainment, right? Basically, entertainment is a powerful force to be reckoned with, especially now. Our youth, our kids, that's what they appeal to,
Yes.
entertainment. So, how do James create an actual storyline film that's going to be appealing to our youth, to our young people, to willing just to watch it? To give me 2 or 3 minutes to watch it, because they say what first few minutes, if you
Then they gone.
take them into it, you done lost them. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So we have music, where we got hip hop, we got bit of blues, we got country, bluegrass, hard metal, gospel.
So you
We have
just
a
kept it
very,
diverse.
very diverse, depending on what that scene is basically showing and what is expressing. The music or the dancing or the poetry is basically bringing it all together within using those arts, man. So with doing that, that's how we kind of get their attention. When
Gotcha.
they actually watch a film and it's basically in the setting of 1863 and before the Emancipation Proclamation, they hear in a 2021 trap beat. Oh, who do that? Who does that? You know, like,
It,
that's hard.
yeah, that's tight.
And like Therefore, I didn't court them with the beat. I didn't court them with the music, right? Because music itself carries what? Vibrations. So right there in that lobe, I didn't court them. Automatically, when we hear a new Drake song or whatever, we bob our head. We don't know the lyrics, but we bob our head. Be
In
hard. Be hard. You know what I mean?
that.
But with that beat comes the lyrics, right? So it's the
That's
lyrics
up.
that twine all into that music there that makes it what it is,
Mm,
right? If it's going to be on a low frequency or a high frequency. And I choose with this film for this film of the music that we're having to be
mm.
on a high frequency. So it's
Lift us
basically
up.
spitting truth, stabilities, and reality. Things that
Mm.
not only that has happened then, things are still happening now.
You know, you make a great point when you say that because now even as not being a filmmaker, I mean that a little technical, but not a filmmaker. But
Right,
I would think going in if I had a dream of that, and maybe that's a wrong thought if I am a real filmmaker. But like you said, you made a great point about how it's bigger than just the photography or the cinematography of or the videography of getting the shot. You know, it's about
right.
I gotta have some sound to tie in to make that shot appealing to you. I gotta tie in
That's
this
it.
piece of entertainment. Like that's a great point, and I think that one shouldn't get lost. Like if you are one of these inspiring filmmakers, you might have to either if you don't have that talent, because I think you are, and we can talk about that a little bit. You are in the music, but if you don't have that particular talent, you might have to hook up with somebody to be successful, like you said, because you might have some great video, but you're not talented.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's all about you know your approach. It's all about the appealing of and the approach. Okay, when a marketing firm when they come out with certain different um items, or if it's the grocery store that comes out with this new cereal, it's all about marketing first. It's the way how it's going to be marketed, or before it's advertised on TV, the new Whopper, the new McDonald's,
Mhm.
right? So their marketing strategy is to capture not only our visual and what we want, and like, man, I'm getting hungry by looking at this cheeseburger, but also make you want to go out there and go get that burger. So
Sure.
the same thing in what I'm using with this film, when they begin to see it and understand it, I'm capturing them with the music itself
Mhm.
as a hook, but the true bait on that hook is the words. It's the words that's twined into that music, and for them to understand. Okay, boom. Oh, that's who Marcus Garvey was. Oh, that's who Noble Drew Ali was. Oh, that's Malcolm X. Okay, okay. So that's what Harriet Tubman did. You know what I'm saying? Like
Kind of
to
flipping it
really
like almost like a Hamilton type deal. Where
right.
again, you get people vibing, and now, all right, I'll listen to history a little bit.
Right.
Got
Because
you.
now it's becoming appealing now.
Hmm.
Okay, get Drake and get some of these big time hip hop artists now
Hmm.
rapping about things like that, and see how many followers they would get. It's just the approach, man. It's very important, because you only get that one chance to really make it right. That one delivery to make it right, man. And I've been putting my hard sweat and tears into this, and just wanting people to see it in a way that they can receive it, and that they can take bits apart of it. If
Hmm.
it ain't the beginning, or if it's the middle of it, if it ain't the middle, maybe the end, take something to apply to them and what they're going through in life. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And, to really look at it in reality, that
Hmm.
we are all human beings,
Exactly.
because that's where it comes back into circle. It's not all
Universal.
about that racist, because a racist is attachment, right?
Yeah.
You ask a child now, who taught you that?
Hmm.
My mama, my dad, my grandfather. You can't you can't be brought into this world and already have fully knowledge of what racist is. You can only
Hmm.
teach that child that.
Yep.
So a lot of times with what we learn must be unlearned. We must be brought back into an original state of what we was created to do, be, and go from there. You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of time it's just about detaching yourself from a lot of things that really doesn't really stand for anything, things that really truly don't matter, because that's not really the big picture here. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's a bigger issue, way bigger issue when you're talking about racism, because that's always been here,
Mm-hmm.
but it was
But
also created. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, 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 no. You was fine. I was letting you flow, but it's just like you said, and I think respect go to you and your film crew, everybody that's involved, because again, to your point, you get one shot,
That's it.
and you taking your one shot with a responsible stroke. You know, you're doing this for the culture, really. You're doing it
All day.
for some education. So again, your one shot you taking to help somebody else, to help a group
Right.
of people, to help a generation. I won't even say a group of people because that's segregating it. I'm saying just a generation behind and now, but really for the ones behind to learn a little bit more, because you're addressing again, the big issue of who really cares, right? Not at that
That's it.
age, at a young
Right.
age.
Right.
I'm not going into a virtual school now and say, hey, let me go look into the 40s. It has nothing to do with me, quote unquote. But
Right.
so to put them in front of that, I think that's just definitely a valiant effort by you guys. And then for you, I think that's that high risk, high reward, right? It can seem risky, but I think just going at it
Yeah.
pure hearted like you doing
Right.
it, I
Yeah.
think you only can
Yeah.
get blessed from that, right?
You
So
know, I mean, hey, somebody has to do it. You know, somebody has to
take
come in
that
and,
bird.
teach it, and there's all different types of way of teaching.
Mhm.
Sometimes verbally teaching is not always the best way, or you may can't reach that certain crowd there. Sometimes you got to kind of spicing it up a bit. That's why I speak about music. You may have these young guys that kind of really understand the language of it
Mhm.
being embedded in music, right? Or a beat that they can really understand, and then when they listen to the words, it's like, oh man, I never knew that. But just being very creative with what I have, and really pulling everything outside of me, to really put out there to the world, man. It's all we want to do. We don't care about the publicity. We don't care, pretty much. We want this film to be very, very successful, but that's not why I got
Mhm.
in this for. I really got in it to really educate, empower, and enlighten our people.
Cool. All right, man. As we about to wrap up, a couple questions. I want to get started in filmmaking. What's your best advice for me? How if
Ah,
listeners out here and they hanging on and they saying, man, I saw your trailer, Freedom of North Carolina, it's dope. I know I
right.
can do something like that for my hometown. How did they start?
Just as I said before, man, use what you have, even if it's just a
Mhm.
phone. Learn everything of that phone,
Gotcha.
right? If you're not on it, learn it. Like all of the accessories that's on that phone. That's if you want to be, become serious with it. I mean, that's
Hmm.
all I had to do. I had to learn the actual phone, the pixels, and all of it. And from there, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Hmm.
If you have someone that's in your circle or the community, or even maybe not no one who is a filmmaker but a photographer, because a photographer and filmmaker in some way kind of go hand to hand. It's almost the same
Type
rules
in there.
apply when you're doing photography shooting. So kind of immerse yourself in that circle. Reach out to people, use the social platforms, absolutely free. Ask questions, you know, um, and
That's a
even
big one.
now,
That's a big one.
just, and I think that's the
Ask
thing.
questions.
Ask
That's
questions. Some of us, we just too, I don't know, man.
proud. Proud.
That's it. But hey, bro, like for me to say I want to be one of the best, to ever even do it, and I still have a long way to go. But I can still hear kind of the echoes of Spike Lee. It was like, okay, boom, what are you doing about it? You want to be the best. What are you doing now? It ain't something that I need oh man, I got a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. I got to wait till I get a bit more money. Nah, that don't apply, man. 50 Cent said the best, baby. Get rich to die trying, homie. Like, you got to go hard.
At the
You
end of the
got
day.
to go hard. Use what you have, and educate yourself. There's no excuses out there. I didn't go to school for it at
Fact.
all. You know, I didn't. I got 40 plus, well, close of 40 some people all together in my cast.
Wow. That's dope.
And I'm from Greenville, North Carolina, home of East Carolina University, and only maybe one or two of them came out of my city. Everybody else, Atlanta, Alabama, High Point, North Carolina, Charlotte, places like that.
Hmm.
And it's because people saw the drive that was in me and saw what this can possibly do and wanted to be a part of something great. So I would just tell them, go hard, believe in yourself, regardless of what the world and what people may say. Get it, because the only person that can stop you is you.
That's dope. That's love right there. And he's not lying about a small town, Greenville, North Carolina. Now, I know about that town because my son, he played college basketball and
Hmm.
he was being recruited in that town. And
Right.
that town is the college. And if you go around the corner, it's like a strip of stores, and that's the town. And you missed it. Greenville. So he made it out of
Yeah,
Greenville.
very, very
Not
small town.
not lying. He had to do some work. So definitely that's that. I appreciate that info. That should help a lot of people. What you got next? I know October the 9th, is it?
October the 9th, man, is
The
we actually
release?
had to move the release premiering. It was
Mhm.
Juneteenth. I really wanted Juneteenth, but due
Understood.
to this pandemic, it is kind of fading away slowly, but still they still had to, the precautions of the
Mhm.
theaters and whatnot. So, I decided to kind of really make that tough decision and kind of move it back a bit in fall. So October the 9th, 2021 is the day of the premiering to the public, man.
Cool.
We ain't gonna
Any
slow
other
off.
projects in the oven?
Oh man, to be honest with you, this has been taking all of my time, brother. Like,
You got to get this done first.
yeah, like, I mean, it's one thing in production,
Mhm.
doing a lot of things, to put this together. And then even after the film, you also have a whole nother job that's called marketing. So
Ah,
my job now is just pitching and getting it pitched off in one of these streaming platforms, Amazon or Netflix, Hulu, be able to
mhm.
pick it up. So that's where I'm gonna be really kind of, my head is in just kind of learning, learning and
Gotcha.
whatever I can do to really push this film.
Cool, man. Hey, we
Yes,
rooting for
sir.
you. Last
Man,
question.
thank you.
We give it to all our guests, man. And Set, he let us down. I don't know what happened with him, but we gonna laugh about it now. But favorite tennis shoe of all time, we ask all our guests. We got sneakerheads who watch, so they be on you.
Right.
What's your favorite? You got to answer that. What's your favorite tennis shoe of all time?
Tennis shoe?
Yep,
Shoes.
tennis. Yeah, sneaker. I forgot. You
Uh,
know, you from Greenville, North Carolina. Sneakers.
nah, well, sneakers. Oh man,
That's
that's
a good question. Everybody do the same thing. They start thinking back to their childhood. What did you want?
yeah, man. I'ma just say one of the best comfortable
Okay.
sneaker or tennis shoe. I would have to go with Pumas, man.
Puma life. Okay, we go with that. We go with
Yeah,
that.
I got to go with Pumas, man. More, it's comfortable. That's what I wear on my feet now.
Hey, look. And he got the gangster G's on. I see you got
Yeah,
you got
like
that Puma life on your feet.
that's it, bro. Like Pumas, and I do Reeboks, like the the,
Okay.
the old joint, the Reebok classics, so the joints they used to wear in the '80s, bro, like the late
Track
'80s.
classics.
Yeah, like yeah, man. Like I got more old school blood in me, man. Like
Hey,
I'm
ain't nothing
more
wrong with
that
that.
type. that type, man. I've worn Jordans coming up, and
Hmm.
I used to be crazy about them, but I done shy
You
away from them, bro.
you done
I just
graduated. Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah, I just shy away. But Pumas,
that.
I would stay. I'm gonna say Pumas, brother. Pumas, Pumas.
Puma. All right, cool. You
Hmm.
rocking with Meek and them and that Puma life. So ain't nothing wrong
Yes,
with it.
sir.
You
Yeah,
certified.
yeah. I
Hey
appreciate it,
man.
brother.
Hey, James, I want to appreciate you for your time today, man.
Oh man,
Just
nothing but life.
yeah, man, super dope, and it's just good to be able to talk with another king and just kind of
Right,
swap info. I appreciate the info. I'm sure the audience appreciate the info. I'm sure you
right,
inspired someone out here today. And again,
right.
good luck with the Freedom of North Carolina project. I'm definitely going to support. Hopefully, our viewers support. We got you,
Number
man.
love. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show, man. Trip Talk. I
Hey, man.
appreciate you, King.
Much love, baby.
Number love, man. Take care and be
Holla.
blessed.
All right, you too, man.